beautiful. They gave me a rental for a loaner. You get in it and it's your car.
Oh, really?
Radio station. Your seat is exactly where you have your
Inside. So it's preset.
Yeah, it's because it's all on the app on the phone. So it just transfers everything over. And
It's like your computer.
outside. You wouldn't know anything. I take my glasses off and everything. I think I was used to it.
Yeah.
3 in, 3 out. I had that exact conversation with Garrett.
They tell you, oh, you just needed a little bit for this. And the next thing you can't see anything, and you gotta get better.
Back to Josh.
Walk it out.
Partner up. Side control escapes. Side control escapes. No resistance, let it work. If they want some resistance, ask them, they'll give it to you. Side control escapes. Switch on the belt.
Okay. Yeah.
Off off switch. Go. Working. Hi, Megan. Is Ashley rolling or no? Alexa, play Mr. Fiji Region Station. Come on, Megan.
She's gonna drill. She'll drill. She just said that over the breath. Yeah. Oh, right. Switch on the belt. Hey.
In high school, the long
I'll write into that.
Yeah.
Make sure that you're coming in back in like this. The top foot is always susceptible to that.
Okay.
And so you have to come down top foot. Hey, where do I want to go that way? Can't move the bottom. That top foot into that. As you go. So my head's in like, oh, I can move my entire
All the way down.
we're gonna take this palm and then like palm your hand. Yeah.
So pretty much your go-to when somebody's hitting you in American you just go thumb out. That's what I would have.
Get some water, circle up.
And then you start. You think they're gonna go more. That's the first thing I said I gotta do. Right? Both sides. You want to try to get this close as possible. We're talking about Tuesday. Because of the risk of that. Yeah. Because there's so much special. Yeah. I think so.
Tuesday, Thursday. Oh, so Eric was slacking on Tuesday, he wasn't here, so usually if I teach, I like to teach defense because your white belt needs really okay. So, I would think so. So we just did some site control escape drills. Back on Tuesday, we did back. So right now, so I'm gonna have the amount. You're open over the mount. You can sit on my chest. Both knees are somewhere between my hips and my armpits, as are his feet. I have to know his goals for mount. His goals for mount are A, to keep his feet and his knees kind of nice and tight, while trying to get his knees further up in my armpits. He also wants to come behind an elbow like he is on this side and start working my arms up over my head. Whenever my elbow gets above my ear, that's a problem for me. I like my elbow to be down here in this pocket, this left arm is in the right hand, nice and tucked. That's going to give me my best chance of success here out of this mount. If my hand is up here like this, I have to do some drastic action because he will start to finger ball. I have to do some drastic action to recover this elbow on this side, which is the goal, bridging, a stone foot, and a shuffle. If I had a bottom mount, I want to try and convert as much energy as possible, so that way I have the best chance to explore the escaping side. So, with this knees and this feet such being nice and tight into me, my number one goal in the mount is to get off of the flat of my back and onto the side. And whatever side I pick, I want to wedge my elbow between my ribs and their thigh. Okay. So whenever I'm ready, I'm going to power up off of my feet and bridge up. And I plan on the bridge that this is my free hand currently, that I plan that I'm going to get out onto my side or shrimp a little bit. So that way there is now a space between his thigh and my ribs, and my elbow will fit in. And whenever I put my elbow into that space, that elbow goes to the mat and it stays there like a pillow. So nice and tight, big bridge, elbow in, boom, now we're here. My elbow is inside his thigh and between my ribs. I can either A, use this to punch down a little bit and spread him, or B, keep it nice and solid here if I don't feel as strong, to keep this space open, because whenever I have opened this space, I have also opened this space. And now, the same side knee of the leg that I'm stopping with my elbow is going to come under his knee. Whoop. Now we're here. Now I can sometimes, most times, release my elbow because my shin can now do something to it. I have an underhook here. I can start to bring this hand up as I turn back into him into a straight line. Because just a second ago, we were over here. I'm going to turn back into a straight line, and whatever I do, I should be able to pop my foot out and look over halfway and escape from it. He gets into a mount position. I'm going to touch my elbows. His knees are nice and tight. I'm going to power up and bridge off of my feet. Whenever I bridge, I'm going to turn this way and fit my right elbow between his thigh and my ribs. Once I do, my knee on the same side of the knee that I have pinned, the same side knee of mine is going to come under his knee and now provide the same pushing out pressure. I can now move my hand. If I move my hand out above his arm, this could be bad for me. It might be harder for me to get my foot back and get to a straight line. Whereas if I'm here, I can bring that arm with me and we're in a straight line now. I can just untuck my foot out from under there and recover a half turn. Anytime that we bring our foot outside of the mount position back to trapping at least one leg, we're going to lock our ankles or our foot under our knee. So that way we have at least one leg trapped and go back to a safe half guard position. Again, mount. He's nice and tight, big bridge, elbow between ribs and thigh. I'm going to use that elbow space to bring my knee to my elbow. I'm going to wave. Whenever I wave, I can turn my body and just pull my foot up and lock back up. However you decide to lock up is completely up to you. One way, one way, one way, always. As long as my feet are crossed and there is no chance of him immediately popping his knee out of this hole. Because that's his new goal now, is to pop his knee out. And now he's being one last time. Mount, knees tight. Pop up on my right side. Elbow between ribs and thigh. Bring my knee to my elbow. If I get the underhook, swing his arm up. Knee come to a straight line. Bring my foot out and trap his leg. Cross my legs. Any questions? Genetics. Partner up. Any questions? Please let me know. 1, 2, 3. Whenever we wave, we come into a straight line.
So then, it depends on.
I mean, you got a sweet right there.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. Do that Yep, that's it. Yes. And now remember, we're stopping his foot. Yeah. Walk your leg. Yes. Now we're in a good half guard position. And now,
So I keep this, but I can.
if I were to go here, I could just do that.
Right. Oh, that's getting a really good.
And then there's a scoop.
So, on the decision, which way, which elbow, I think I will get it.
So whenever I my elbow, it's now the underhook.
Right, right, but I'm saying when you decide to go left or right, that's by which. And if you don't have an arm, like if I went this, you would land up, then you still get it out.
So then I gotta be a
Right, it's supposed to be able to
Oh, and then I got over.
The nice thing is that she has 2,000. Bring your own. Usually, it's about it's now my goal. What you've got.
And I guess I can just run
Block your English, bring on block your English. Block your English. Yeah. And now, keep this back elbow just like you raise this. If I roll on my left, you got no base.
So while we're in this and we're talking about it, you have, trying to work some stuff in some base. So one of the things that I saw when you come out the arm trick, elbows and fight over the Do you agree with that? Okay, I know everything you're saying.
Come here, and just start to sit in my arms. It's crazy. Go back. The problem is, it's extension. So, yeah, you'll notice that. Just had to so that's there's a goal now to bring the muscle far. You can do what you want.
Okay. Sweet, don't big slide off. You get after first.
Bridge up to this side. So when I'm here, should I just try and cross it over like this, or should I try and bring your ankle under your leg? Okay, just cross it over like this. Okay. Right. You've lost it. Right. If you really want to do that, should you? Now, whenever it's up, is it good for me to try and bring it over like this? Yeah, well, that's what I feel like. You're a lot more bounce out, but you got nothing. Okay. I mean, obviously, you're going to be fighting me on that. So realistically, and then use that to trap it.
So I was like, whatever you did, like I cannot. Yes, it was debating it so much work, but then like about an hour or two, it started to
Questions? Circle back up.
CJ, can you turn this way so I
Well, I'm
can
the
see
king
the
of
side?
3 ACLs. I just had 2, my shoulder to 7 tears.
Alright, so if option one fails, elbow between ribs and thigh, if option one fails. If I'm really flat backed and I don't have a ton of options and it's difficult for me to get onto my side, one of the first things I'm gonna wanna do is at least buck up enough to weave my arm in and try and get an overhook. If I get an overhook, I wanna come over the top of his elbow, and I want to reach towards my opposite pec. If I'm in no gi, opposite pec. If I'm in gi, opposite collar, lapel. Or my rib cage, whichever. I keep his elbow in super tight. Whenever I'm here, and it's kind of argued. I hear people say both ways. This can be a telegraph, whereas this can be a telegraph. And so to each their own, whichever you find is tighter for your game or what have you as you continue to use it, right? And so back to elbow over the, I'm going to get my overhook over the top of his elbow around his tricep area. I'm going to grab my opposite rib or opposite pec. I'm going to keep this in super nice and tight on the inside. Sometimes I even take my elbow and drag it down a little bit to where I feel like I can almost touch the mat with my elbow. My goal isn't really to touch the mat, it's more to keep my arm this way. And so once I have a fantastic, or what I would consider a really nice strong grip on this overhook here, I'm going to find the same side foot. I'm going to come on the outside of his foot. And I want my heel or my Achilles to touch somewhere on his foot. Whether it's nice and low, down near the arch at the top of the foot, or up here. But I want to have a good contact, and I want to make sure my heel is done inward a little bit towards my butt. I want to keep this nice and tight here. And whenever I'm nice and tight here and nice and tight here, we're going to have a tipping point somewhere right here where he should just fall over. So again, nice and tight tuck on the wrist. On the elbow, on the tricep, shooting through the opposite rib. Nice tight touch over here. This hand is going to, some people prefer to push in the armpit. Some people prefer to shoot across the shoulder line. And so we're going to do two motions at once we have this trap here. We're going to bridge up, and we're going to shoot our arm at the same time. Bridge up, and come up on top. Whenever we come up on top, I prefer to keep the same grip. Now, instead of grabbing my own ribs, I can put it on him, and I can plow into him like this. And I keep this arm when we start into like a mirror lock back situation. So again, wrap, trap, bridge. Whether you trap first, and then you wrap, or opposite, does not matter. Above the elbow, on the tricep, opposite rib. I'm reaching all the way to my opposite. In front of his foot, my heel or my Achilles is touching his shin. My free foot and my hand. My foot's going to press up, and my hand is going to press or shoot across. Whenever I come up, I extend down. My palm face up, the back of my hand face down, or pressing down a little bit his ribs. And we stay nice and stiff here until we figure out what we want to do with this arm. Wrap, nice and tight. And again, I like to bring my elbow down just a little bit as well, because I feel like it kind of covers a little bit of his forearm. My trap. My Achilles is touching his shin or his ankle in some fashion. I'm under his arm over here. And I'm going to bridge off of my free foot. Keep my arm across. And now we come here. If you don't want to keep that grip and come into just a regular full guard, that's perfectly fine. Normally we come up in a full guard. There's going to be a second where his legs are open. If I let go of this and I can start an elbow inside, then he will never be able to close his legs. If I sit here, then he can lock his legs, and now we can work out through it. And so it just depends on your reaction timing. Once we hit that rollover, hey, can I let go of this and start working out here in the knee? That just takes a little time. One more. So again, wrap far pec or far ribs. Trap on the ankle. My heel is making contact with the ankle. Shoot my arm across and bridge. So Kyle just also said, whenever we're bridging, make sure that we're bridging over this shoulder, because we're not necessarily totally bridging this way. We're bridging a little bit more this way. And so bridge and the shoot here at the same time. Bridge over the shoulder. Any questions? One.
It'll work with me, right?
Somebody
Somebody bigger. I got you. Okay. All right. I'll say this a little unfair.
Yeah, so I told her, I said, just get her out there.
Let your chin up.
I got you. No, it makes sense. You leave it loose. And even if you let it loose, it's something and tighten all of that. Say what
And just remember the concept is. Couple on both sides, both people.
It translates really well. Just shoot the judges. Right. It's not that big a thing.
Let's do a quick mod to that rack trap bridge. So if we can't get full underneath the hook, if we're stuck in nice and tight, and I can pop his elbow up and get to where, or he's pressing down on my neck. This me coming on the outside of his tricep here and locking his arm down, or even better, popping his elbow to this side and giving the same effect. So not only do I rack trap bridge with an overhook, I can do that as well. We'll do a couple of those. And so whether he's pressing on me, and you will find in a street fight scenario, people think this is amazing. This is really not really good at all. We can come over top of the forearm that's on our wrist, or swap it up. I don't think it matters too much as long as I have one hand on the outside of the tricep, and the other hand is kind of popping this elbow this way or this way. Does that matter to me? Austin might have a little bit of a different experience. He has a little bit more time than me. But I find that as long as I'm on at least one, if not two on the outside of this, even right here, I go. Now, the further that his elbow is across my midline, the closer to my breastbone, the easier this gets. So this is harder, easier, easiest. And so let's work on that for a couple of reps. Keeping that arm here, being on the outside of it, and still having the same trap. Achilles touching the ankle-ish area. Double hand on the elbow of some sort, or popping this elbow out of the way. You find if you pop this elbow out of the way and he sunk like he did, that's easy. Give it a couple shots. 1, 2, 3.
So. I guess if you can control this with one hand, I mean, you have a big I can do it all at one time, so I need to move away. Well, obviously, the further you get somebody with, the less you need. Right? So, you can start with you're like now yeah, absolutely. Sometimes you'll once you get like with you way over there like bro, have those shoulders. Yeah. So the more shallow it is, the more you can handle stuff. Yep. And then I come this way. So does it make it different? Like, I see how baseball around. And more efficient. All of a sudden, they're covering the dome. To keep all together.
I didn't do all of it.
No, it's something that we may
Well, it usually is. Push it over. Not that big. But at least there's something like 275. So it's a hole.
Want me to answer?
Young blood over here.
Yeah.
And then I get my head like this. Now in position. Look at me. Even there, you know,
So this gets, I know this seems bad for me, but that's where it gets hit.
Oh,
All right, last one. This one might be more of a body style than anything else, and so if you cannot accomplish this one, then I understand because I'm a smaller guy. Can't do this one, work on the first two it'll be much easier. So this one involves me not being flat on my back. I want to be shrimped up just like in the first one with the elbow here to the top. I'm going to use the same elbow principle, except we're going to attack it differently. We're going to do kind of what I like to call a heel. And so when we bridge up and we get our elbows towards the thigh, I'm making a wall. But this time, if he's doing a good job of keeping this space tucked to where I can't get my knee in and slide my knee through the bottom like I did on the previous, I'm going to let my leg go flat. And I'm going to step over his foot with my tarsal. No deal. Right here, having only his foot trap, this is what we call quarter guard. Quarter guard is better than that. However, if my elbow has stayed in the same spot, now that I have his foot trap, I can shove his knee line down past my bottom drop. And now we're back to half. Again, now, we come up onto our side for the elbow between ribs and thigh. And we have our elbow on top of his thigh, but he's doing a good job of closing this space here, so I can't bring my bottom knee to my elbow. So I'm going to let my bottom knee go flat. And I'm going to use my top foot to come over top of his foot and drag it across. Once I drag it across, I immediately tuck my top foot under my knee and we walk. From here, I push straight down. Whenever his knee is past my thigh line, one of my elbows, usually my top elbow, is going to circle around. And we turn, we trap this halfway again, walk our ankles, we have voltage legs. So again, I'll
will be on my side, not on my back. Mid bridge, elbow between ribs and thigh. He's tucking the whole, so I can't bring my bottom knee to my elbow. I'm gonna lay my bottom knee flat, and I'm gonna step over with my top foot. Dragging his foot across. I tuck my top foot. Now my elbow needs to be pushing his knee down, past my bottom knee. I turn back and down. Walk my ankles, in whatever fashion I want. And have me go to my half guard. Go flat back to shook, elbow in between ribs and thigh, bottom leg stays flat, step over heel feel, lock my foot, get my quarter guard, use my elbow, push my knee line down, get my half guard back. Any questions? 1, 2, 3, back one. Okay. Oh, here the great one. Wait.
That's why it's so salty.
I said, one well produces like 33,000 gallons of sperm or something. It's like, where did 32,000 gallons of that go?
In your mouth, in your nose, in your eyes.
Think about that when you're at the peak.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's
Everybody crushes me.
no, you're good. Yeah, that's exactly what you're supposed to do. Yeah.
That's what I mean, then my crushes me when I'm trying to switch my hips. So I'll be walking my hip like this.
CJ, she has a problem getting crushed. Try to get her to stay on her side.
So I was locking it, but I'm not used to locking it this way. When I'm trying to, I always want to lock it this way and always get crushed.
Take your elbow, you don't hit. And then that's where you're once you've done it on that side, using your elbow.
Yeah, she was really nice about it.
Yeah, I always turn that
Because
way.
her elbow's in here like this. I have an underhook, I should be able to stay on my side of it.
Yeah.
Because now he has to bring that out here. Because you can see it. My underhook can be out here. See that?
Yeah. Okay. So I think what I always do, and I think it's because
Somebody half guard me.
when I think of half guard, this is my vision in this thing.
Someone half guard me. And I recommend a lot of with transitioning, search down at this gap. Until I get another hook. Once I get another hook, I can stay here and I can do my knees. I can hop onto a pin, or I can extend all the way up and finger wall, whatever. Cover myself.
leg and going to that side.
Well, that's because that's good time to my half guard. I'm gonna pick up my rest.
So when I get the half guard, my first idea is take the outside leg over their leg and take it with grab their leg with it, and I feel it all the way around my head. Yes, that allows me
Do something.
And then that's when we tuck under elbow on the dog, get the defender out like this, we're on.
So you're like,
Questions, questions?
you still been. Yeah, but I think it's just.
Did back escape on Tuesday, a couple of mount escapes today. Had some newer guys in here, we'll work on that stuff. Mount escapes. Those are some of the basic wrap trap bridge. Knee between elbow, or elbow between knee and ribs. Get your bottom knee up. Heel peel, I would say it's maybe a tad more advanced, maybe intermediate, but same rate, still very fantastic escape. And then you have more flashy ones for more flexible people and stuff that none of us will keep doing. So we can work on that later whenever we have better things. Line up.
So, you put the time in. This was the last point we need to get into.
Be together, Valiant. Stop. This is cost.